What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. Today I'll be previewing Hendrick Motorsports as we head into the 2026 NASCAR season. I'll be previewing both the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Rally Auto Parts team for the 2026 year. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first driver we're talking about today from Hendrick Motorsports is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson will continue driving number 5 car once again in 2026. Kyle Larson's coming off of having a really solid year in 2025, picking up 3 wins on the year and season, and also picked up a second NASCAR Cup Series championship in 2025. Once again in the 2026 season, Cliff Daniels is going to be the crew chief for the 6th consecutive year. Kyle Larson and Cliff Daniels have worked together since the 2021 season, and this has been the best duo we have seen work together over the last 5 or 6 years. Going into this season, there is going to be a lot of high expectations for Kyle Larson, as Kyle Larson will be looking for a second straight championship in 2026, and also be looking for his 3rd career NASCAR Cup Series title and championship as well. Last year, like I said, was a very good year for Larson, but there were definitely some questions around this number 5 team, and while Kyle Larson was still very consistent and really strong last year, Kyle Larson wasn't his same self at points, especially during the summer. There definitely were times where that 5 car did not look to be the fastest car, but near the end of the season, that led to Kyle Larson having a great run toward the championship. He had 4 top 5s in the final 5 races of the year, led a ton of laps during that stretch, and could have won a few races near the end of the season. So what are the expectations and the goals for Kyle Larson going into the 2026 year? The first big goal is win the NASCAR Cup Series title. Like I mentioned before, Kyle Larson is one of only 3 current active full-time Cup drivers that have multiple championships in the sport, and Larson will be looking for his 3rd championship, trying to become only the 2nd active driver to have 3 championships in the NASCAR Cup Series, that other driver being Joey Logano. He's also looking to win many more races in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2026 as well. He had a phenomenal season, and he's looking for more wins, trying to get up there on that win total. But I think another big goal for Kyle Larson, I think he's going to be looking to accomplish, is trying to finally win the Daytona 500. Kyle Larson has won 3 of the 4 Big Crown Jewels. He won the Southern 500 in 2023. He won the Brickyard 400 in 2024. And he also won the Coca-Cola 600 in 2021 as well. He'll be looking to try to accomplish that first ever Daytona 500. And we all know that Kyle Larson has gotten a lot better on super speedways in the next-gen era. And I think he'll have a really good chance and opportunity to win that Daytona 500 2026, considering Hendrick Motorsports won the last 2 Daytona 500s in the row. They'll be looking to go 3 in a row in the Daytona 500, pick up another Daytona 500 win for the Hendrick Motorsports team and the Hendrick Motorsports organization as well. Again, I think Larson will have a good chance and opportunity to be a major factor once again for the championship, win more races. We're not even sure what the format's going to be for next year, but nonetheless, I expect Kyle Larson to be a factor and contender, and I think this number 5 team will be good enough to contend, as Larson also will be in a contract year, but he also will likely sign an extension with Hendrick Motorsports in the near future. He'll look to have a strong season once again in 2026. The second driver we'll talk about today from Hendrick Motorsports is Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott once again will drive the number 9 car once again in the 2026 year. Now, Chase Elliott in 2025 did have a very solid season. He picked up 2 wins in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025. Both was coming at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Also picked up a win at Kansas in the fall race that I attended. And he also picked up an exhibitional win in the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. So he's a defending winner going into that event. Now, once again in 2026, while nothing's been officially announced and confirmed on the crew chief side of things, more than likely Alan Gustafson is going to continue being the crew chief for Chase Elliott in the 2026 year. Like I mentioned, 2025 was a solid year for Chase Elliott. He was definitely one of the most consistent guys in the field, and while there were times where this number 9 team was behind even the 5 and the 24 on performance, Chase Elliott was not a slash by any stretch of imagination. There was that summer stretch where that 9 team was really good. Dover was a prime example, had the fastest car in the field in that event. Also had a really good car in the race that Larson dominated Kansas, which was the last time Larson picked up a points-paying victory. He was really good in a lot of races in 2025, and the team showed some really good consistent speed. I feel like the old Chase Elliott came back in some way, shape, or form, and I think this 9 team was really solid. And he had his first multi-win season since 2022, where he picked up 5 wins and made it to the championship 4. So, what are the goals for Chase Elliott going into the 2026 year? The first goal is to get a second NASCAR Cup Series championship. Of course, he won the championship back in 2020, 6 years ago. If we do have a championship that's more consistent based, I think that's really going to benefit Chase Elliott in a big way, because Chase Elliott is known, while maybe not getting a ton of wins, he's also known as a guy who can be really consistent on a week-by-week basis. So that's going to be the first big goal for Chase Elliott going into next year. The second big goal is pick up more wins and victories. Chase Elliott has 21 career NASCAR Cup Series wins at this point. He has a little more than half of the wins his father, Bill Elliott, got. I think the goals are try to get up to as many wins as Bill Elliott's had. Not going to happen in 2026 more than likely, but I think that's the long-term career, is get to 30 or 40 wins. Chase Elliott, I think, will be able to win more races next year. I think that's a big goal, and put himself in championship contention once again in 2026. I think this 9 team will have some good pace and speed. I think he will be a factor and contender. And I think Chase could have a really solid and a pretty strong year with Hendrick Motorsports once again in the 2026 NASCAR Cup season. The third driver we'll talk about from Hendrick Motorsports today is William Byron. William Byron will be back behind the wheel of the number 24 car once again in the 2026 year. He signed a multi-year contract extension to stay with Hendrick Motorsports through the 2029 year. William Byron picked up 3 wins in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025, those coming in the Daytona 500, going back-to-back. He also won at another race later in the year at not Las Vegas, picked up the win at Martinsville to get into the championship four, and also picked up a second win at Iowa Speedway after dominating that event. He also made the championship for 2025, though he unfortunately had a flat tire with around 5 laps to go in the race, taking him out of contention. He still made the championship for in 2025. Now, going into 2026, he will have Rudy Fiegel as a crew chief once again for the 6th year in a row. Him and Rudy Fiegel have had a really good dynamic duo over the last 5 to 6 years, and I expect that duo to continue doing really strong once again in the 2026 year. Now, what are the big goals for William Byron going into the 2026 year? The first big goal, get a 3rd straight Daytona 500 win. I don't believe there has ever been a driver who's won 3 straight Daytona 500s in a row. I could be wrong in that front, but I don't believe a driver's ever won 3 Daytona 500s straight. So he's looking to become the first driver to ever do that, and he's looking to only, I believe, become maybe the 4th or 5th driver in NASCAR Cup history to win the Daytona 500. But also win some other crown jewel events. He hasn't won the Coke 600. He hasn't won the Southern 500. He hasn't won the Brickyard 400 either. He probably wants to win more of those in the future and continue racking up wins. But the big ultimate goal, win his first ever NASCAR Cup Series championship. We've seen Chase Elliott win a title. We've seen Kyle Larson win 2 championships. The big goal for William Byron is to try to get more championships in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2026. And I do believe William Byron will be a factor for the championship once again. And especially if consistency is a big factor with the title next year, I do think that this 24 team will have a solid shot and opportunity of completing that in 2026, because William Byron is someone who can always be consistent on the track, and I do believe that Byron will have those capabilities of doing it in 2026. The other big goal, try to get up to 20 career NASCAR Cup Series wins. He's getting close to that. I think he's got 15 or 16 wins at this point. Get more wins and victories. I think Byron will have a solid opportunity to do that and join a elite club of about 40 or 50 drivers who have accomplished that in Cup competition. I think it could be a really solid year for William Byron in the 2026 season. And the fourth final Cup driver we are talking about today from Hendrick Motorsports for 2026 is Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman is back behind the wheel of the number 48 car once again in 2026. Now, Alex Bowman was the only driver for Hendrick Motorsports on the full-time scale in Cup this year that did not pick up a win. Obviously, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson picked up victories in 2025. Now, once again, and he did make the playoffs this year, unlike 2000. I think he made the playoffs 24 too, but he did make the playoffs in 25, but got eliminated, unfortunately, I believe, in the round of 16. Now, once again, in 2026, Blake Harris is going to be the crew chief for this program. Blake has been the crew chief the last 3 years, and he'll be looking to try to improve and get back to victory lane. Now, this is going to be a big year for Alex Bowman because unlike Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman is on the hot seat going into this year. He is probably one of the drivers biggest on the hot seat currently at the moment because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of speculation around Alex Bowman's future at Hendrick Motorsports currently at the moment. There's many people that don't think Alex Bowman could be back with the program after 2026, and there could be some really big free agents that are available in 2026 at this point. So for Alex Bowman, that is going to be the first big goal. Take your name off the free agency table. So what are the big goals for Bowman? Number one, like I mentioned, take your name off the free agency table by running really strong and really, really well. contend, be fast on a week-by-week basis. Get back to that consistent Alex Bowman that we saw in 2020, but also at the same time picking up wins and victories. That's the other big thing. Get back to victory lane. It has been now over a year since we've seen Alex Bowman pick up a win and victory in the NASCAR Cup Series. We've seen a lot of drivers get a lot of wins like Shane Van Gisbergen and Chase Briscoe during that time, and Christopher Bell try to pick up wins in the Cup Series. Maybe gets a win at Chicago, and since he won there in 2019, he kind of found a way to get rid of that track with kind of a curse around him. I think Bowman's goal is to go out there and contend and be really strong, go out there and try to pick up some victories. I think Bowman can definitely be a factor. I think this 48 team has the capabilities, but he's definitely the weak link of the organization, which he's not a bad weak link. He may be the best fourth driver we've seen for Hendrick Motorsports, but I think the goal is to contend and get back to victory lane and win some races in the Cup Series and try to take your name off the free agency market. People like Kyle Busch and other drivers like in the field who could be free agents at the end of next year. Now let's talk about the Xfinity or the O'Reilly Auto Parts program, and let's talk about the final full-time driver, and that is going to be Corey Day. Corey Day will go full-time in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series in 2026. As he'll drive the number 17 car for Hendrick Motorsports in the 2026 season. Now, Corey Day, of course, is a development driver for Hendrick Motorsports currently at the moment, and is a protege of the driver just won the Cup Series championship this year, that being Kyle Larson. Now, Corey Day made select starts in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series in 2025, and while he did not pick up any wins in the 2025 season, Corey Day did show flashes of brilliance throughout the year, and I think there definitely was some big improvement from Corey Day throughout the season. He had multiple top 15s near the end of the year in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, including a really strong top 5 finish at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and showed flashes at tracks like Phoenix and the Roval, where he was the best non-junior motorsports car in the field. And then the Craftsman Truck Series, in the 4 races that he ran in the Truck Series this year, he had top 15 finishes in those races this year, including a really strong finish at Indianapolis Raceway Park. He also this year will have Adam Wall as a crew chief on a full-time basis. Adam Wall was a crew chief for Kyle Larson when he won at Bristol Motor Speedway. Also was there when William Byron won his race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Adam Wall is a very solid crew chief, also formerly worked as an engineer for Kyle Larson as well. So that's going to be something that I think is going to really help Corey Day in a really big way, because I think Adam Wall is a really good crew chief. Now, the first big questions asked around Corey Day is, what are the expectations of Hendrick Motorsports in him next year? The first big goal is improve as the season goes on. Go from being a driver that contends for top 15s and top 10s to contending for top 5s and even contending for victories. I think that's going to be the big goal for Corey Day, is to get that first win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Because while I think it's going to take some time for Corey Day to win, I think that he has the capabilities and potential to win a race in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. I think he's that talented. I think he's certainly got those capabilities. And I do think he's overall a pretty solid driver in this field. I think people got to forget that Corey Day, I think people forget that he's not been racing round long, and he hasn't had a ton of oval experience, and well, he has a ton of oval experience, but doesn't have a ton of stock car oval experience at this point. So that's something we got to think about at this point with Corey Day. I think the goal for him this upcoming season is to show some really, really good stuff, be a factor, be a contender. I think Corey Day will be a factor in 2026. I think that Hendrick is going to do what they can to try to win the championship in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. It's going to be tough to beat people this season, like, for instance, like Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, and Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, and Jesse Love, and Roger Kroof, and Carson Quaffle, and all those guys, but I think he'll have an opportunity to do it. We'll see how it goes for him this upcoming season, but I think Corey Day could be a factor in 2026 for Hendrick Motorsports. And generally, look at Hendrick Motorsports going into this year. You're going to have a new Chevy body coming in for the program, and in general, I think there's a lot of hype around this program going into this upcoming year. They're back full-time in the O'Reilly Series for the first time in many, many years, and then, of course, with their Cup program, they look to win more races, try to win another championship and Cup, and try to contend as best as they can. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out for this organization in 2026 as they look to try to get closer to that 400th win in Cup at this point, and try to win 400 races across the board with Cup, Trucks, and O'Reilly at this point. So, that is going to be it for the Hendrick Motorsports team preview for 2026. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me to Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's get on board with that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How do you think Hendrick Motorsports is going to do in 2026? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Before I go, I want to wish my dad a happy birthday. It's my dad's 60th birthday, so I want to wish him a happy birthday before I close out this video today. If there's any other major news that breaks later today, able to discuss it live on the channel. Tomorrow we'll either have a NASCAR news video dropping, or we're going to push that to Monday and talk about maybe some of the drivers on the hot seat going into 26. We're going to have a video talk about some manufacturers like Honda, Dodge maybe coming in down the road, and also, of course, do the winner predictions to the Cup Series for 2026, and we'll potentially even be doing a Daytona 500 interest in the next couple weeks as well, and probably looking at an early live dive look at the Cup lineup for 2026 as well. We've got content coming up, people like Haley Deegan, Champion Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bolas, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Merritt, Frankie Muniz, Kyle Larson, Chase Light, Ryan Priest, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Priest, Connor Zolch, Junior Motorsports, Cletus Farm, Dodge, Ram, Brendan Queen, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, all the good stuff we'll talk about on the channel in the coming days and weeks, well, along with the 2011 and Front Row Motorsports lawsuit and Eric Almirola too. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.